Hello Moto GP enthusiasts. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Aprilia's early 2026 form is impossible to ignore. After another commanding display in Goiânia, Bezzecchi and Jorge Martín delivered a stunning 1-2 that has pushed the Noale factory into the center of the title conversation. Ducati still has the bigger reputation and the deeper recent pedigree, but right now it is Aprilia that looks sharper, cleaner, and more complete over race distance. Marc Márquez left Brazil with solid points, but not the result he wanted. On a weekend where Aprilia set the pace and Ducati struggled to match the frontrunners, the Spaniard had to settle for fourth after a late battle with Fabio Di Giannantonio. Marquez admitted he made the key mistake at the exact point where the asphalt was breaking up, turning a possible podium into damage limitation. Aprilia's dominance in Brazil didn't just deliver results, it may have sparked the beginning of a deeper battle. According to Pedrosa, the real fight is only just beginning, and it won't be limited to lap times. With Bezzecchi leading the charge and Marc Márquez managing a difficult start, Pedrosa believes a psychological war between the two could soon define the 2026 title race. Bagnaia's Brazilian Grand Prix ended in frustration and another reminder that his 2026 season is still not where he wants it to be. After a difficult Saturday and a crash in Sunday's race, the Ducati rider admitted he was simply trying to survive as the grip and conditions left him struggling to trust the bike. With Bezzecchi already pulling away in the standings, Bagnaia now heads to Austin looking for answers as much as results. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Two weekends into the season, Aprilia has already built a serious case for being the benchmark. The RSGP has shown strong pace in both Thailand and Brazil, and the most striking detail is how convincing it has been in the long races, where tire management and consistency matter most. This is no longer just a strong start. The way Aprilia is controlling race pace suggests there may be something deeper in the package than a simple track-specific advantage. Bezzecchi has been the standout name of Aprilia's start to the year. He has shown that when the race settles into rhythm, he can control the front with authority, building an advantage that rivals cannot easily close. The harder tire made the bike a bit more stable, and that helped, Bezzecchi said. That detail matters. Aprilia may not always look the neatest on edge, but once the conditions suit it, Bezzecchi's pace becomes brutally effective. Jorge Martín's first full impact of the year changes the picture even more. After a difficult 2025 and a cautious return after surgery, he delivered a podium in both the sprint and the race, completing a dream weekend for Aprilia. His result also showed that this is not a one-rider project. If Bezzecchi is the explosive frontrunner, Martín gives Aprilia another layer: experience, race intelligence, and the ability to convert a strong weekend into a major points haul. That combination is what makes Aprilia dangerous. With both riders delivering, the factory suddenly looks like much more than a surprise package. For Ducati, these early races have exposed issues that need attention. Marc Márquez is still not fully fit, Bagnaia is not yet at his 2025 best level, and Marquez has not looked like last year's title contender. That does not mean Ducati is out of the fight. But it does mean the red bikes are no longer dictating the story with the same certainty. Aprilia has forced the conversation, and that is a major shift. When your rivals are no longer reacting to you, the balance of power starts to change. Ducati knows it cannot treat this like a temporary blip. Despite the excitement, Aprilia is refusing to get carried away. Massimo Rivola has stressed that two strong weekends do not define a season, especially with so many races still to come. We're just enjoying the moment because it's still very early, Rivola said. That is the right tone. Aprilia has momentum, but the challenge now is to protect it without turning confidence into complacency. The next key test comes in Austin, where the layout and rider factor could reshape the picture again. Marc Márquez has historically been a force there, and Ducati may be more dangerous if the Texan weekend plays into his hands. Even so, Aprilia will arrive with belief. Goiânia may not have answered every question, but it confirmed that the RSGP can win, can manage tires, and can deliver under pressure. Austin should tell us whether Aprilia is merely enjoying a golden start or genuinely building a championship threat. Aprilia is no longer just the team that looks fast on certain Sundays. With Bezzecchi leading, Martín returning at a high level, and the RSGP proving itself over race distance, the factory from Noale has sent a clear warning to Ducati. It is still early, but the message is loud. This is a team that looks ready to fight for more than isolated wins. Marquez was not able to fight the Aprilias on outright pace, and the Brazilian GP quickly became a race about reducing losses rather than chasing victory. Even so, he still managed to collect important points on a circuit that had worried him before the race because of its long right-hand corners. For Marquez, this was not a disaster, but it was another reminder that he is still not operating at full strength in the way he usually does. The crucial incident happened when Marquez ran slightly wide exiting turn 11 after touching the part of the track where the asphalt was giving way. That small error allowed Di Giannantonio to slip through, and once Marquez ended up on the curb, he chose not to take extra risks. "I made a mistake on that corner where the asphalt was giving way." It was a smart decision in the moment. He knew the podium was slipping away, and finishing fourth was better than crashing out. The duel with Di Giannantonio was intense and gave the race another layer of drama. Marquez said overtaking on this track was extremely difficult, with riders repeatedly going wide whenever they tried to pass. The battle also showed how narrow the margins were in Brazil. One mistake, one blocked pass, or one line too wide could completely change the outcome. It was the kind of race where aggression had to be balanced with survival, and Marquez ended up choosing the safer route. Beyond the race result itself, Marquez pointed to a broader problem. He is still missing something in the opening laps. That lack of feeling on the bike has been one of the main themes of his early 2026 season. "I'm missing something in the first laps, just that." That is the real issue for Ducati to solve. If Marquez cannot build rhythm early, he is forced to recover later instead of controlling the race from the front. Marquez also acknowledged that Aprilia's current form is no accident. He said he always judges the complete package, not just the rider or the bike separately, and right now Aprilia is delivering both. That is part of what makes the current gap so worrying for Ducati. It is not just one rider on a hot streak, it is a manufacturer producing excellent results across the board. Marquez may not be panicking, but he clearly understands that Aprilia has become the reference point for now. Even with a 22-point deficit to Marco Bezzecchi, the championship is still very early. Marquez knows the situation is not ideal, but he also knows the season is long and that his own performance should improve as he regains feeling and confidence. Brazil did not give him the breakthrough he wanted, but it did give him a clearer picture of what needs fixing. Marc Márquez left Brazil with an acceptable points haul, but with the same unanswered question hanging over his season: how quickly can he rediscover his best feeling on the bike? The speed of Aprilia made the gap obvious, and the mistake at the damaged asphalt only reinforced how fine the margins are. For Marquez, the result was not a collapse, just another weekend that showed how much work still lies ahead. The Brazilian Grand Prix confirmed what Thailand had already suggested: Aprilia is currently the reference. Bezzecchi delivered another controlled victory, while Jorge Martín completed a strong 1-2 for the Noale factory. "Without a doubt, we witnessed a race dominated by Aprilia." Pedrosa pointed to one key factor behind Aprilia's success: balance. The RSGP appears to have found the sweet spot between aerodynamics, traction, cornering, and top speed, something every manufacturer is chasing. They've found the right balance: good stability, good cornering, good grip, good traction. Jorge Martín's resurgence adds another layer to Aprilia's strength. After a difficult 2025 filled with injuries and adaptation issues, he now looks physically and mentally reset. Pedrosa highlighted Martín's methodical preparation and improved condition, which have allowed him to return to the front immediately. A renewed Martín is back to his best. With Bezzecchi winning and Martín consistently delivering, Aprilia suddenly has a two-rider attack, a crucial advantage in a title fight. For Ducati, the start of 2026 has been below its usual standard. Pedrosa acknowledged that the Italian factory is not operating at the same level seen in previous seasons. Ducati isn't as strong in these first two races. The shift is subtle but important. Ducati is no longer controlling the narrative, and that changes the pressure dynamic across the paddock. Marc Márquez's race in Brazil reflected a rider still searching for comfort. Pedrosa observed instability in several sections of the track, especially over bumps and under heavy load. Despite that, Marquez still fought for the podium, showing his ability to manage difficult situations and extract maximum results. He was suffering, but Marc knows how to suffer. The Brazilian GP was also shaped by unusual track conditions, with asphalt breaking up in multiple areas. The situation forced organizers to reduce the race distance, ensuring safety while still allowing competition. We've seen this before, the asphalt kept peeling. Pedrosa's most striking insight focused on what comes next. He believes the real battle between Marquez and Bezzecchi hasn't fully begun, but Austin could be the turning point. Marquez is currently playing a long game, collecting points while waiting to return to full strength. Meanwhile, Bezzecchi is capitalizing on every opportunity. It's a psychological war, and it's going to start there. Aprilia may be winning races, but as Danny Pedrosa suggests, the bigger story is just beginning to unfold. With Bezzecchi leading and Marquez waiting for his moment, the 2026 season is shaping into more than a technical battle. It's becoming a mental one. And if Austin ignites that psychological war, the championship fight could take on an entirely new dimension. Bagnaia's day quickly turned into recovery mode after a poor launch from 11th on the grid dropped him deep into the pack. He fought back into the top 10, but the comeback ended when he lost the front at turn 1 and crashed out after just 10 laps. What should have been a damage limitation race instead became Bagnaia's first zero of the season. The Italian said he was never fully comfortable with the conditions in Goiânia. Instead of feeling able to attack, he felt he was only trying to keep the bike upright as grip levels stayed low and unpredictable. I was trying to survive, but I still crashed. That is the most worrying part for Ducati. Bagnaia is not just slow, he is not yet fully at ease with the bike in race conditions. Bagnaia pointed to familiar weaknesses in braking, corner entry, and rear grip. Those were the same areas that caused him trouble in 2025. And he admitted the weekend brought back some of those same ghosts. He also said he could stop the bike and carry corner speed better in practice than in the race, which only made the contrast more frustrating. That split between practice pace and race pace is exactly the sort of pattern Ducati needs to solve quickly. There was at least one minor positive. Bagnaia said he was able to stay closer to the bike in front than he could last year, when he needed more space to manage front tire temperature. But even that improvement did not change the bigger picture. The core issues are still there, and he knows it. It is progress, but only in the margins. Right now, Bagnaia needs a lot more than small gains. Several riders complained about the broken asphalt between turns 11 and 12, which led to the race being shortened. Bagnaia chose not to get drawn into that debate, saying he already had enough problems of his own. I don't want to get into these discussions, I already have my own problems. That answer fits the mood of his weekend. At this point, he is focused on fixing his own package before worrying about the bigger track issues. Attention now shifts immediately to Austin, a circuit where Bagnaia hopes to rediscover better form. He said he wants a weekend more like last year, when he was competitive and fighting near the front. I hope it will be like last year, when I was competitive. Austin will not solve everything, but it gives Bagnaia an early chance to stop the season from slipping further away. Bagnaia left Brazil with more questions than answers, and the uncomfortable feeling that the problems of 2025 are still shadowing his 2026 campaign. The crash hurt the result, but the deeper concern is the lack of confidence in braking, corner entry, and race pace. Austin now becomes an important test, not just of speed, but of whether Ducati and Bagnaia can finally turn the page. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!